I'm now delighted to talk a little bit about the EMP School of the Year 2025. So this is an award that was based upon two two main things. Firstly, videos of teacher practice. So the schools that entered needed to submit videos of a full lesson, around 60 minutes, for a minimum of three teachers, and they were invited to submit more. Secondly, schools had to submit a video summarizing the impact of the EMP using really concrete data. And so the winner that we're really happy to announce today both had phenomenal practice in terms of what we saw in those videos, and the data of impact was really, really quite staggering, which I'm delighted to be able to share with you in a moment. So the winner this year is Tarneet Rise Primary School in Victoria. Yay. I wish I had one
Yeah.
of those soundboards that has the sound effects for cheering. Anyway, I'm sure you can imagine it. Target Rise Primary School. So why did they win? The teaching quality was absolutely fantastic. They submitted videos from Monica, Hema, and Kirsten. Hopefully, I got the names in the right order there. These teachers were fantastic, and you can look at these pictures. We don't have time to have a look at videos from these teachers' classrooms today, but we'll hopefully try to make them available at some point. But just look at the heads, look at the students, look at where they're looking, the focus. That just gives you a really good sense. And that was something that really struck us in every classroom we saw from those videos submitted. The students were locked in for that full 60 minutes. Absolutely fantastic in terms of that teaching quality and the engagement from the students. Secondly, and this was probably the most standout thing was the data. So one of the great things about Tarnet Rise was that actually been collecting PAT data, progressive assessment tests in mathematics, run by the Australian Council for Education Research for a number of years. So they were able to say, hey, here's what happened with our students before EMP, and this is what happened after EMP. A little bit about context, and we actually supported once we saw their initial submission, we supported Tarnet Rise to deepen that analysis a little bit as well, which is why I'm kind of sharing this today. So just for context, about 1,600 students, ICSI are about 1050, which means they're slightly above average in terms of the wealth of parents at their school. That being said, 1% First Nation students and 90% language backgrounds other than English. So an extremely diverse school. Also a pretty massive primary school, so I'm sure you recognize, which makes this data all the more compelling because it is such a large sample size. So this is the 2024 data without the EMP. So students in year one at Target Rise in 2024 without the EMP were already making on average the equivalent of 17 months progress in 12 months. So that is already the school was doing a phenomenal job for EMP, right? Add in EMP for 2025. What we've done is we've tracked that same cohort because you get, as you all know, you get massive cohort variation, so it's better to follow one cohort. 2025, that same cohort in year two, they got 25 months equivalent progress. So they're already punching above their weight. They got an additional 8 months. Absolutely staggering. We thought that was really amazing. One of the reasons we started EMP was really to help those bottom students, though. So what we did at EMP when we analyzed these data, we actually stratified the students, and I'll show you more about that in a moment. But particularly, we were interested in how did that bottom, about approximately 25% of students go. And so when we analyzed the data of that bottom 25% students in 2025 with the EMP, they made the equivalent of 3.5 years progress when compared nationally to similar students at the same age range in that PAT scale. So, I mean, congratulations, School of the Year, Tarnit Rice. Absolutely amazing. This is that stratified data with significant values as well. So that approximately bottom 25%, 3.5 years equivalent growth. Those middle students, 25 to 75th percentile, almost 3 years growth. 75 to 95th percentile, 2 years growth, equivalent growth, and then those top students above 95%, still getting that growth. However, we will note that there's not that significance value there. But it's suggesting that around with a reasonable level of confidence, they're still progressing really nicely, those top students as well. So we were absolutely delighted with the videos, absolutely delighted with the results. And it's absolutely fantastic that we have Kelsey Pritchard, leading teacher at Tarnet Rise, here to share a little bit about what how Tani got there, I also want to acknowledge Nadia Beto, the principal, who I know is here in today's webinar as well. So we've asked Kelsey two questions for today and said, please share for 5 minutes or so. The questions were, what has been the impact of the EMP at Tarneit Rise? Obviously, we've seen it from kind of the statistical point of view, but more from the human side of things. And two, what advice do you have for schools getting started with the EMP, which is really the focus of tonight? Over to you, Kelsey.
Can you hear me? I
Gotcha.
have yeah, cool. Okay. So as you said, we have a lot of students. And we rolled out EMP in Prep 1 and 2, and this year coming, we're rolling it out in 3 and 4. We all know that EMP covers 70% of the next year's content. So we are just going to backfill that 30%. We'll get to that challenge when we get there. What has been the impact aside from the growth? It's just incredible to see what our students have done. I'm the prep leading teacher, and I was for 2025 brand new at this school, so I had never seen what they did in the past. But to see those students come in and do the Molly assessment at the start of the year, or MOI, and majority of our kids came out in the red, to then have majority of our students come out at F.5, 1.5 was insane. I've never seen that at a school. I've been teaching for 13 years, and I've never seen that much growth. Um, what has also been the impact is on the teachers. We also started a DI literacy program. So we rolled out two programs at once, which was a lot. But our school is a champion. We have a lot of things in place like learning walks, a lot of support. Each cohort has a leading teacher. So we do a lot in classrooms every day. And without even shining a light on EMP, we had some teachers that were very anti it, didn't want to start it. And our biggest success story was one of the teachers from those 3 videos that you saw. She did not want to borrow EMP. She just thought, we'll just focus on literacy, don't worry about it. But in the end, she became our biggest champion. She became the teacher that we would trial anything. So when we went to the PL that did the interval cue, we got her to trial it first. Once she trialed it and she saw the results, we got everybody else through into her room. So she is our champion kind of EMP teacher. And that would be my biggest advice. I think having somebody that you can have as your champion that is in the classroom, that is not your leading teacher, that is not your pre, not your exec members, that you can then get people to come through and see it actually happening, is that was the difference from getting people on board and off board. Once she got it rolling, her entire team got it rolling. Once that entire year 2 team got it rolling, the preps and ones kind of followed as well. If you can get your hands on EMP's action steps, you have to attend PL to go to that. That was game changer for us. We actually then implemented that into our literacy program as well. Filming yourself is just, it's incredible. It's daunting, very terrifying. But once you get over that hurdle, that has been the biggest game changer too. We were able to see what was happening, the tiny nuanced things, how our pace was blowing out because we stuck on one question for too long. That was also a big game changer for us. And my biggest advice is nail that DRQ timing. The second you get that pace down pat, the rest of the lesson just follows. And trust the process. Trust the process. Do your assessments when they're told. Don't skip a catch-up top-up. And it is just a wonderful program. We're really excited to see it roll out in 3 and 4 this year as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Kelsey. So many pearls of wisdom there. I could see some people furiously taking notes to get that all down. Really appreciate that. Phenomenal work from Tanya at and if Kelsey's still here at the end when we're doing questions, people can throw questions to her as well. Feel free to write them in the chat now, and we can get to them towards the end. Well done, Kelsey. Well done, the whole team at Tanya at Rise. And we'll be working with Tanya at Rise to try to create some opportunities for more people to see the fantastic work they're doing throughout the year. And I know they've already been inviting schools to visit, in fact, off their own back, which is absolutely wonderful. Well done to school year 2025. I'm now going to hand to Tony Hatton Roberts, who's going to talk about and announce EMP Teacher of the Year 2025.
Thank you so much, Ollie. It was wonderful. So not only did we have a school process and awards, but also looking at an individual teacher, someone who's really excelled. Most people were new to this program this year, but to see, I think we had up to 11 or 15 shortlisted videos that we ended up getting to, and to watch the quality. I'll just
It's okay.
Cool.
I muted them.
Yep, all good. To watch the quality of all those teachers was really quite phenomenal and did bring a tear to my eye as I watched them all. To get to the final, even five, was really difficult. And then to find a final one was actually a bit of like absolutely next level, having to watch every single minute. I think one of the videos was like, an hour long and having to watch every single minute to try and find some sort of difference between. But we did finally get to a final decision, and our final decision was the winner is Tiana Samuel. So from Rivergums Public School from WA. She did a fantastic job. So we're watching a little bit of video now, Ollie.
Yeah, let's watch Tiana in action. Then Tony can
Just
talk a little bit about
yep.
some things that Tiana did particularly well. We've uploaded the full 1 hour of footage onto YouTube, so you can watch Tiana's whole lesson. We've also uploaded the video from the runner-up, who you'll hear, who is in a moment, onto YouTube as well. But we've got 2 minutes and 40 seconds now, just to give you a taste of what this winning video.
Today we are learning more about fractions. What are we learning about?
Fractions.
What is this fraction?
3/5.
That's right, this fraction is 3/5. What's this fraction?
3/5.
I'm going to start shading the rectangle. When the rectangle shows the correct fraction, I want you to say stop. What will you say?
Stop.
That's right. Ready?
Stop.
Well done. Let's check. Say the fractions to me. Point.
Track.
1/5.
2/5. 3/5.
What does that show?
3/5.
Well done. What is this fraction?
4/3.
I'm going to start shading the circles. When the circles show the correct fraction, I want you to say stop. What will you say?
Stop. Stop.
You guys are amazing. Well done. Let's check. Say the fractions with me. Point.
Track.
1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3. Amazing. What are the circles showing?
4/3.
Well done. That's right. The fraction and the circles are both showing 4/3. Hands free. Pop it at the top of your desk. Well done. I love the way that Kian has nothing in his hands. Well done. Arms folded. Arms folded. 5, 4. Well done. Does this picture have equal parts?
Yes.
This picture has equal parts. So we can write a fraction for this picture. We write the bottom number of a fraction first. Which number?
The bottom.
The bottom number. Which number?
The bottom.
The bottom number. Which number? Bottom number. Better. The bottom number tells us how many equal parts are in a whole. Look at the picture. How many equal parts?
1.
How many equal parts? There are 2. How many equal parts?
2.
How many equal parts are up there, Harlow?
2.
How many equal parts are up there, Riley? How many equal parts are up there, Akira? Well done.
Over to you, Tony. What did you see?
Look, fantastic. I think Kelsey mentioned the 10 action steps and going to professional learning that Ollie and I put on last year. We did a lot of them and we're doing a lot of them again this year. But those 10 action steps are really evident in every part of Tiana's lesson. They're really clear to see. She's very explicit. The buffering probably doesn't quite show her pace. Please get and have a look at the proper video when it's on YouTube, because you actually do get to see the pace that she moves through. And she absolutely insists that every single student or little poppet in that class is learning. She's not accepting that anyone's playing with their pencil or not doing it. She's making sure everyone's there, but it doesn't break her lesson. She just keeps on going. So I think she did so many wonderful things. And other parts of the video, you'll see her do lots of error correction. Her interview cue is there. She's sticking to the script. It's hard when you start with a script because it's hard to have your head in there and up at the kids. So I think she just did a phenomenal job.
Yeah. Awesome work. Awesome work, Tiana. We've also got in the actual guide to success, we have another portion of Tiana's work, her daily review, and I pull out of that three of those action steps, and we kind of analyze them, and then you have to go at that based upon that video training as well. So you will get a sense of some of those action steps
Today.
and get a bit more of that. Here's the runner-up, Tony.
Wonderful Faith. She also is from the same school as where Tiana was, so well done to Faith. It was really a close, between these two teachers. Actually, there's a third teacher at this school as well who sent a video and did phenomenally as well. So we really were splitting hairs with these teachers. But if we do watch a little bit, and I think it was particularly hard because we had a year 2 class and then a foundation class, and we're sort of looking at apples and oranges at some point. So it made it really tricky for us. But again, phenomenal work here.
Yeah, I'll add to that. Tony and I both independently scored these lessons, and we both gave Faith and Tiana the same score. Like I gave Faith and Tiana the same score, Tony gave Faith and Tiana the same score, and we had to like rewatch stuff to try to find one tiny difference to then crown
Split
a
it.
winner. So Faith really like she's 100% up there with Tiana as well. We just in the end had to give it to someone, and Tiana was a whisker ahead. Not to take anything away from the win either. So well done to Faith, and hopefully that's passed on to her. We would love to hear from Rivergums, and we are absolutely delighted to have the principal Tracy Renton here today. Because the question is, well, in many ways, the question is, how did you manage to get Teacher of the Year and runner-up to Teacher of the Year for EMP? But breaking that down a little bit more, what has been the impact that you've seen at Rivergums, Tracy,
Yep.
and how have you supported the development of such fantastic?
Okay. Yep. Can you hear me?
Got you loud and clear.
Yep. Yep. I suppose for us, we've been really fortunate. Our EDI journey started 5 years ago. So we had initially started doing some work with the Data Works book, with looking at your Barra and Hollingsworth. So we had done a lot of work around our lesson design and our instructional processes. So we already had that quite tight. So then from that, we moved into Step Lab. So we sent, I went with Sarah to the one-day intensive. We then made the commitment to have 2 coaches, which we decided upon. Both our APs were great instructional leaders. So it was obvious that they did the coaching intensive. So through all of that work, we have been doing a lot of work around our instructional practice from K to 6. Underpinning that, I would say we have a really strong moral purpose at our school, and our teachers are deeply committed to improving student learning outcomes. They never say no, and they're as driven as what we are. So I suppose that's a little bit of our background. So the impact, so we were excited about EMP when we knew that it was coming out. So for us, the impact that what we've really seen is teacher fidelity in their teaching and learning of mathematics is really, really tight. So we implemented from P to 2. So we can move from one room to another and see the same thing happening across the year group. So there is really tight fidelity. And this has really helped our students because we have complex needs within our school, as most do. But our students know what's expected of them. So that was really, really clear. Moving from that, our students were fully engaged with the program. We saw increased engagement in mathematics and confidence. I would have children coming up to my office wanting to show me the work that they had been doing in mathematics. And they were clearly able to articulate what they had learnt and why they were doing it. And the students all used a common language. So we finally had a consistency of language across, from P to 2, which was really exciting for us because over the years we've been talking about vocab in mathematics, but we could never get that consistency. So amongst our kids, they were highly engaged, they were confident, and they saw them as learners in mathematics, which for us was really, really exciting. So that's from a student point of view. We did see improvement in data, and kudos to Tarnet Rise because their data was just incredible. That's just amazing. But we did see improvement in data. We were able to use the data to identify gaps in our learning for our students. So moving on then, so if I look at the support for staff, what did we have? We did have our 2 APs who are instructional coaches. They had also been coaching 2 other teachers. One of those was Tiana. So we had already recognised that her practice was outstanding. And the second coach was also coaching Faith. So we had some really strong coaching happening through our school. So the starting point really was that our mathematics impact team initially watched and discussed the Think Forward Educators video where they talked about explicit maths teaching and unlocking the science of mathematics. And Ollie, you were also in that, and obviously as was Tony. So from there, the impact team then went back to their year group teams where they talked about this video, and we talked about EMP and the impact that it could have in our school. It was decided that we were going to move forward with EMP. So then our P to year 2 teachers, we released them from class so that they could participate in the PL for Guide to Success. So they did that. They also attended the half-day PL as well that was off-site. That was really quite pivotal in bringing everyone together and ensuring that they were teaching the nuances correctly. So both of those were pivotal in supporting staff. Moving then from there, because of the work that we had been doing with coaching and our observation and feedback and using StepLab, our staff are really confident in being videoed and doing rehearsal. So then we had our pre-primary teachers and our year 2 teachers meet collaboratively with Sarah, and they participated in rehearsal and were receiving feedback. So that really fine-tuned our process as well. It was also very fulfilling for staff to have that feedback and to know that everything was tracking really well. Admin were involved in observations, doing walkthroughs and providing support to teachers. We had lots of discussions about the data and where we were tracking, so that was really powerful. We talked about data in data meetings as well. So again, kept that it was all of that positive feedback, acknowledging the difference that this was making. And then finally, I suppose we were using the data to drive our intervention program. We have lots of children that were at risk and are below national minimum standard. So we were fortunate to be given some additional funding through the department, and I was able to put in an additional teacher that worked a day a week, and she was providing support and intervention to those children that we were able to identify through the data that were needing some help and support being caught up, and that really helped our data there as well.
Amazing.
But that's a bit of a snapshot, but really we've got great staff and deeply committed to the program. And next year, like Tarnet Rise, we're rolling out years 3 to 4 as well, and the year 3s to 4 teachers are really excited and want to get their teeth into the program. So yeah, but lots of collaboration, lots of support.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Tracy. Obviously, a lot of work has gone into teacher development at Rivergums. Really impressive. I know Tiana is here. Don't feel like you do need to say anything, Tiana, but if you wanted to make a comment about what you think has helped you to develop as a teacher, perhaps, the floor is yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on today. And I'm just so honoured to receive the award. And it's particularly kind of yeah, it's amazing because I genuinely believe in the program. I think it's so fantastic. It's been so great for my skill as a teacher, and so great for my kids, and just to see them improve and yeah, leaps and bounds forward, and just the overall kind of vibe in my classroom. It's just a lot calmer. The kids know what they're doing. And yeah, so it's been amazing overall. But yeah, definitely put that down to my school team and the leaders within my school that have really kind of fostered this culture of yeah, rehearsal and observations and professional trust and feedback. That's really kind of allowed me to develop these skills. And yeah, so, and thanks to the program for being so supportive with the scripts and, you know, the student resources and everything, the professional learning, have felt supported throughout the entire process. So yeah, thank you.
Well done. Thank you so much, Tiana. That's fantastic. One thing we wanted to mention was about nominations for next year. We know it's early, but we just wanted to plant a seed in people's head. Um, when it's time to nominate, ladies, please nominate. Let me explain what I mean here. Australian primary school teachers, the ratio of male to female teachers is approximately, sorry, that's completely wrong. That's meant to be 83% female primary teachers, 17% male, right? Flip the male and female there. 83% female, 17% male. How did the nominations look? Just guess in your own head. What do you think the nominations look like? Nominees for EMP Teacher of the Year, 75% male,
Wow.
25% female, right?
Interesting.
Crazy stuff. And just icing on the cake, and I can say this because I'm a guy, and I often think I'm better than I really am. The average score for the men who nominated was 71 out of 100, and the average score for the females who were nominated was 81 out of 100. Okay, so please, ladies, or if you're a principal here and you got some teachers, I mean, they can be male or female, it doesn't matter. But if you've got teachers in your school, and on average you're going to be a female, who are doing a good job, get them to nominate them for the award next year, okay? Because we are sure there are many, many other fantastic teachers around the country who could be getting recognised more than they are, just because, but they're not putting their hand up, or they're not having their hand put up for them. So yeah, and I just found that data, that contrast staggering, and I saw some raised eyebrows there, so I thought that would be an interesting one to share as well today.